Haha, welcome to Badger Beer Report, the Mix Six. I am your host, Greg Washington. And as you can see down there, I'm the Badger Beer Report. I have been calling myself the Badger Beer Report guy today. Here is our Mix Six menu today, y'all, for our Mix Six pack of conversation old topics about beer. We got Wisconsin Craft Beer 25. We're going to get Landon's takes on that. We have the power of the tap room, y'all. Tap room sales are up while the rest of the beer is down. It's Fest beer, Oktoberfest beer, and in Landon's world, pumpkin. And if we don't talk about that, might be pumpkin to pay or something. NA and low ABV Revolution. Are y'all drinking the NAs? Are y'all drinking those hot waters? We'll talk about that. Collaboration station. It seems like collaborations are at an all-time high, y'all. I mean, all-time high. Hell, even the Badger Beer Report had one. So, like, if we got one, I mean, almost everybody's got one, right? But no. So we'll talk about the collaborations. Are kind of on a high. There's been all kinds of wonderful ones going on. Talk about that. And beer events, what's been going on, where we've been, what we've been doing. This 25. I don't think we haven't seen Landon on Badger Beer Report that much. So it is really nice for me to introduce my longtime colleague and Badger Beer Hour and Report co-founder and the journey. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing all right, man. Good to be back.
I'm throwing all kinds of accolades on you today. So, pumpkin lover is one of them, but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Nice to see you. Nice to see you. One of the things, and it's cool to have you back, because one of the things that we haven't been, you and I haven't been able to. I mean, we have been in the back channels, but no, I haven't heard your public voice about right. What's going on in Wisconsin craft beer in 25. I mean, it started off. When we were ending Badger Beer Hour, it started off really bad with the, how the last year ended with Enlighten and all the different, breweries that we lost late last year, early into this year. And it was almost like, oh my goodness, what's going on here? But since then, let's put this on stage here. So these are the closings, Landon, that we've had. A couple close to you up there.
Yeah.
And actually, we may have to revise. We have to revise this one, actually, because Hop and Barrel has been resurrected from the dead.
Right.
But and Round Man, I don't think is dead.
Nope.
So
just moving in a different space.
Yeah. So there's a transition here, but here's the closings. Obviously, the 1840 was the big one. That was probably affected statewide. Not that all these didn't affect us, but and then we have oh no, not that one. Yeah. We have the openings, which what has opening, or what I'm sorry, what Joel and I still believe that is coming. I think Apostle Islands up there is a little shady one, yeah. But we got we have Bull Falls, we have next year we have Vault that just opened, we have Fond du Lac that just opened, we have Hop Garden that just opened, we have Hop Yard just opened, Raidex just opened. Last Chance opened earlier this year. So we have so many of these. What's going on? Gravity Box says they're imminent. We have Bayou saying, hey, we're a brewery now. So Landon, what is your, and they tell us that craft beer is down. We'll talk about the tap rooms in a second. What is your overall, what's going on here in Wisconsin, Landon? What's your take?
I mean, what I see, and granted, I only have a small portion of the outlook on what beer is like, because I feel in many ways up here in Eau Claire, things are different than they are, say, in Milwaukee. So I know that the people that were drinking craft beer before are still drinking craft beer. So that's good, right? If you got regulars coming into your tap room, the regulars are still showing up. I would say, depending on the night, the traffic is real different. So Mondays and Tuesdays are the nights that I work at Lazy Monk, and those nights I see a lot of out-of-towners, people that are in town for meetings or whatever, and you get a lot of people just because they're from out of town, they looked on their phone, they wanted to go to a tap room. whatever. The other thing that I've been seeing when I start to see faces that are local that I don't see on a normal basis, they started doing trivia night and random like activities on Mondays and Tuesdays. That is what is bringing people out more than anything. So it's just like any other business. If something's not working or you've been doing something a long time, then if you want, you know, if you want change, then you're going to have to try things and see what sticks. So, they've done, I think they even had like crocheting night, and for some reason that worked, and it was just people sitting around on tables crocheting and knitting and whatever and talking to each other. That was like a whole room of people. So whatever works. I mean, it's breweries shouldn't look at themselves any different than any other business. If you want to make money, you need to try stuff. If the same old thing's not working, then shake it up. If you've got the space to host stuff like that, try it. Um, you know, especially the current state of affairs that we're in with people are drinking less alcohol, and if you don't have an NA option or what I would say even several NA options, um, there are going to be a lot of people that don't want to stop in because they're not drinking alcohol anymore, and they don't even want to drink sodas, and they don't want to drink, so not only have they given up alcohol, they've given up sugar. So I've met a lot of these people where I say, yeah, we don't, at least at this point, we don't have anything non-alcoholic on tap, but I have root beer or I have, a few canned sodas, and they're like, oh no, I don't eat sugar either. So, and that's been more than once. It's been several times.
All right. Well, let's hold that. So overall, we'll get back to that. No worries.
Yeah.
So overall, though, the landscape as far as Wisconsin goes, you feel, is this something that does it feel predictable to you, or do you feel that we are where we should be as far as opens and closing, which is kind of like close?
I would say we're close, but I would say like the last 5 years have kind of been unpredictable, right? I would say the market as a whole, not even just Wisconsin, but Wisconsin, we're fortunate that people in this state like to drink, right? It's that really hasn't changed that much. I would say the biggest thing that's changed is the younger generation, the kids, and I can call them a kid because I'm old.
You have kids.
Yeah, and I do too.
Yeah, literally.
So I would say that younger generation, if they are drinking, they're not drinking as much as say you and I did at their age. So
okay, and now we can segue to topic 2, because topic number 2, we'll have a transition next time, y'all. And Landon already was getting into it, which is the power of the tap room, y'all. On-site sales models, tap rooms and brew pubs are outperforming traditional distribution, y'all. So people are still drinking, but they go out to a tap room. And my next question for Landon was the local hangout mentality. Are breweries becoming more than just places to drink beer? And I'm pretty sure you already answered that partially, but here you go, serving it right up.
And I would say, additionally, it's there again. It's that younger age, that younger crowd that like to go out in public, but they don't necessarily like to talk to people. So if there is an event going on, if there's live music, if there's bingo, if there's trivia, if there's whatever, they may like to talk to a little. Yeah, they may like to talk to a little circle of people, someone they're very close to, but as far as interaction with other people, I would say it's not all of them, but it is a lot of them. And because even when I try to interact and be nice, and it's very limited. They don't, even when you're serving them a beer, the interaction is very like short, and maybe you'll get a slight grin out of them, and that's it, and that's the end of it. They don't want to talk to you anymore.
So breweries are becoming, again, or still are,
I would say
community spaces.
Yeah. I would say they are, just in a different way than what you or I are maybe used to them being, right? I would say, especially like Lazy Muck, where it's a bigger space, right? So you get people coming in and they'll go off into the corner and they want to be over there by themselves. And that's not how a tap room like that was set up. They were set up that way, bigger tables and whatever, so people can have community and talk to strangers and get to know people and whatever, but it's not being used that way by the younger generation anyway. I would say that it's being used my age and older. People are still fine with talking to strangers and whatever, but that younger age, they just don't, it's not something they value. So
So we're back to the activities and not the beer
right,
being the driver,
right,
and the community, or even the small knit community where they can meet their niche of friends, whether it's the card players or the D&D players or the yoga
right.
people,
Yep.
or the I don't know, the furry people. I don't know, whatever you get into it, whatever.
I don't know.
But
I'm trying
yeah,
to
also
understand it.
also, Landon, before I do want to point this out, which is Texas restaurant owners report 40% decrease in alcohol sales. So that is interesting because, again, a lot of times we would go, you and I, our families go out together, we have a beer, you know what I mean? So, things like that. Or you meet you meet your wife and y'all have a dinner and you have a beer, or y'all have she has a cocktail or wine, and it just, they're reporting in Texas a 40% decrease in alcohol. So we get almost pinpointed that it is the alcohol part.
Yeah.
When you look at stats like this, as far as restaurants, because there's nothing here they're saying about, the food going down. I mean, there may be that too, but they're specifically talking about 40% decrease in alcohol sales. And man, that like, especially alcohol really can make or break a restaurant. As far as like, pumping that, what that tab up, $30 when it would be less. So yeah, I don't know. We're in a crossroad.
I think that might be part of it too, though, is people are cutting back on spending. So that I mean, when you notice that your bill, when you go out, you still want to go out to eat because you don't necessarily want to eat at home or make something at home and take the time to do that. But you notice that when you have drinks, your bill goes up by $20 or $30. Well, that's the easy way to save $20 or $30 every time you go out.
That's discretionary, even more. Like, obviously eating out can be discretionary for sure. And a luxury, of course, and a privilege, of course. We got all that. But at the same time, there's a discretionary part of all that. You know what I mean? Like, do I buy drinks for everybody, or do I just buy drinks for myself, or I don't buy drinks at all? So
absolutely.
It seems like we're being more judicious, it sounds like, with our alcohol spending. And hey man, that's what you got to do. So before we wrap up, anything more on the power of the tap room? Again, I feel this, Landon. I feel that we're, I feel that people are going out. Hey, I'm gonna go out, meet my friends, have a couple beers, and then it almost feels like no one's even taking beer home. Like they used to. You know what I'm saying? And then it seems like it's just more casual, just to be like, hey, I'm gonna go have a couple beers with my friends. I'll spend $15 on 3 pints, as opposed to spending $15 for a case or something and then just taking it home. Are we making that decision, Landon? What do you think?
I think so. I'm starting to see more people just coming in and enjoying a beer or two. There haven't been as many, and granted, I'm not in the stores, I'm not selling the beer. But I would say there are more people that come in for a beer or two than people that take beer to go. I would say if they're gonna take beer to go, they've already had a beer or two. So yeah.
So the next one we have here, y'all, is Fest Beer versus Oktoberfest beer. Versus we are fully in Oktoberfest beer time and Fest beer. And I haven't seen that many. I've seen some pumpkin, but I feel it's a little bit.
Lakefront's got their pumpkin out. Both versions of their pumpkin are already out.
But I haven't seen like the you know what I mean, like the barrage just yet.
Right.
I mean, it's coming. Listen. I honestly, Landon, unfortunately, I have to blame Starbucks for this. Because you already know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
Once that goofy pumpkin spice line of theirs comes out, and I mean goofy in a poking fun way. I love pumpkin. I love pumpkins. I was that original pumpkin pie guy. You could literally stick a pumpkin in the beer, pumpkin pie in the beer, and I'll just drink it. I don't care. I love it. I love it. I love it. At the same time, though, goofy Starbucks is yeah. Because like they put everybody in that mood when that first one comes out and everybody starts rushing. Then it's almost like literally pumpkin season.
Yeah.
And I know, Landon, you're a pumpkin guy beer. Am I wrong about this whole Starbucks thing or what? Like,
no,
that doesn't come out until like right after school, right? Like after Labor Day or something like that, or around there.
Usually,
yeah. That's when the pumpkin craze starts, and then everybody has to have pumpkin. We gotta have it in the burgers.
But I mean, I think we started seeing. I don't know if it's probably been longer than I think, but I would say about 5 years ago is when the majority of these breweries started putting fest beers and Oktoberfests out in July, right? I'm not ready to give up summer yet. And as far as I feel, at least anyway, I'm a seasonal beer guy. So depending on what the weather is outside and how I feel, that's the kind of beer that I'm really gravitating more towards. So when Oktoberfest comes out in July and it's like, or the beginning of August and it's humid and hot, I don't feel like drinking an Oktoberfest or a fest beer or pumpkin beer or any of that. When September rolls around and we start getting some more fall weather, then I'm starting to feel that a little more. And then once we get a little further into September, then I'm like, oh yeah, pumpkin, let's have some of that. But it's already all out. So I don't, it's kind of for people that know me well enough, I used to work for corporate Menards, and Christmas, they were already gearing up for Christmas, Black Friday, whatever. Black Friday, they're already gearing up for right now. So, and Christmas was already, like we would hear that Menards Christmas jingle in like September, October. So by the time Christmas came around, you're so sick of, and I love Christmas. Christmas is my favorite holiday. You absolutely hated it. You hated it. And you just, your heart wasn't in it anymore. So it's kind of the same concept with these beers coming out so early. If you buy into it already and some people aren't, but for me, by the time Oktoberfest rolls around, if I'm drinking Oktoberfest in July and August, by the time September comes around, I don't really care anymore.
So Landon has a problem with the seasonal creep, y'all. That's what I heard.
Yeah,
that's what I heard.
I got a big problem with seasonal creep. You bet.
All right. So when the season gets to you, Landon, though, is it fest beer or is it Oktoberfest beer?
For me, it's Oktoberfest beer. Fest beer is just too light, and there are a lot of people that don't like that. Märzen Oktoberfest, caramely, full bodied, bready beer that just is so delicious. It's just too much for some people, which is where the fest beer came in. And the Germans drink a lot of it because you can drink more of it because it doesn't sit with you as long. So for them, I get it. And for, some of us Americans that don't like to have beer sit with you or like to drink quantity over quality. Not that the fest beers are of bad quality, but I prefer.
This is a different thing.
I prefer the Oktoberfest.
Okay. Yeah. I think most Americans do, and I think fest beer is the official beer of Oktoberfest. So we can't we can, but we can ignore it over here in America. We do whatever we want, but and we markedly see more Oktoberfest beers here than we do fest beers.
Correct.
And a lot of times we see fest beers, we see the ones from Germany and all that, which is
right.
Don't get me wrong, it's cool, but like we aren't making enough fest beer to elbow them out, if that makes sense. Like those legends are still here.
Oh yeah.
And I don't see many. There's a few Wisconsin brewers that do the fest beer, but I see more. I see more Oktoberfest ales than
which is odd. Yeah.
Yeah, then
Yeah.
we probably see more Oktoberfest ales, Landon, than we see fest beers actually here, if
You
that
see
makes
that
sense.
you see that or the most common thing that I've seen early in the season, and I don't know if it's because that some of them are trying to rush their Oktoberfest beer out, but it's still a lager, but it just isn't it just doesn't feel like it's ready yet, that it should have
No,
sat for a little longer. You know, not
lager.
I don't know if yeah, to lager or to you know, it's just you taste it and you have it in your mind the way that it should taste, and you go,
Should have waited.
hmm, hmm. Seems like it should have waited a little longer. So
Right. It'll never wait because it's Oktoberfest. So it'll be
right.
gone by the time it needs to wait.
Well, and I know that the general public, that's not, they don't care,
No,
right? They
no,
just
no. And
but for me, when it comes to particular beers, there are things in my mind that I already have programmed that this is how this should at least taste. The start of it should at least taste this way, and when it misses, I'm a little disappointed. So,
yeah, in Oktoberfest though, outside of the beer geeks that are we are, honestly, that's a style that just you could fuck that one up, in my personal
oh
opinion, because
yeah,
people are going to
absolutely.
drink it, and people are just. It's just one of those styles that is just so approachable for a lot of people, and a lot of people love it, and people literally wait all year for the Oktoberfest season to come around. So if yours is a little bit off, we'll sit in your brewery and drink it. No worries. Now it can't be horrible, but you know what I mean, Landon. We're not
Right,
gonna like
right,
just get up and
right.
like I
Right.
go to Lazy Monk and y'all's is off a little bit this year for whatever reason because it happens.
Sure.
This isn't a bad brewery thing. Brewers are off sometimes, man. This is like a
Yeah.
recipe. Sometimes you go to that bakery and that bread isn't what it was last week, and that's fine. So then, but if I got the Lazy Monk and I was supposed to meet you there and we're supposed to drink a whole bunch of Oktoberfest beers and it's a little off, we're still going to probably drink the exact
Still
same
gonna
amount
still gonna drink
of
it.
Oktoberfest beer. So they almost can't miss, and so you almost can't fault the breweries for trying to get it out there as early and make sure that theirs stands out, and because they know that everybody's going to drink it, and that's part of the problem. Because you even said it, Landon, that's part of the problem is that people like Landon and I can't get the damn Oktoberfest beers because by the time we're ready for them, Landon, I agree with you 100 wholeheartedly percent. I'm not ready for that ish until like football's on. Like when
Right.
football's on Sunday, then I'm like, all right, give me where's the Oktoberfest? And all y'all like, oh, well, we drank it all. Well, thank you. That was great.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Right.
thanks a lot. At least I
I
can
mean
grab
I
some.
mean,
I can
if
still
it if
grab
it
some German beer. I can
if
grab
it
some
tells
German ones, but
yeah, if it tells you anything, this year already, so before the first batch of Oktoberfest was already ready at Lazy Monk. They had already sold it all. It was gone. So they held back I think a couple kegs and just didn't fill like maybe one or two of the orders because they needed some to go on tap.
is Oktoberfest the strongest seasonal style?
You can get some winter ales that yeah, but I don't know, maybe.
Mm, I don't know,
I,
Landon.
don't- I don't know
I
I
don't
don't
know
know.
what. Maybe the stouts in the winter, but
Yeah.
but like the pull here is strong, and
Yeah.
that's part of the seasonal creep thing. That's why you see these damn things still in January. You see Oktoberfest in January.
Yeah, I
That's
think we
still
lost. Yeah.
tastes pretty good.
Greg's coming back. He was pontificating and it was sounding really good.
Because as you
But
know, Landon, and
he might be back. Oh, here we go.
I can sit for a while as we talked about. Some
Well, I think we lost Greg just for a little bit. He will be back, but as he was talking about Oktoberfest beer, so some of that seasonal creep, it's you're chasing um, people, right? Nobody knows going into Oktoberfest season, quote unquote, whether or not people are going to be hyped up for it that year, right? Maybe, maybe not. You don't know. So it's not like these breweries can go into the season and say, I'm going to make 4 batches of Oktoberfest and it's going to sell out. You can't. I mean, so you kind of have to make that first batch and go, all right, and sell it and say, all right, how's it going to work? And in those situations where it sells out right away, you go, great, make another batch, it sells out right away. Well, by the time that second batch sells out, you're already creeping up on September and you go, okay, are we weakening? Are people going to want to still do it? And then you roll the dice and you make another one, right? And so you hope that one sells out just the same. Otherwise, sometimes what happens is you still have Oktoberfest on tap in December. Not a problem for me, but there are a lot of people that walk into a tap room in December and go, oh, you still have Oktoberfest on tap. It sounds good to me. People like me love to still drink Oktoberfest in December. There are a lot of people that think, well, it's just old beer. So,
You can hear me, Landon?
Gotcha.
Okay, cool. I don't know if you could see me, so I'm just gonna stay off camera because apparently my I don't know what my computer's trying to do, but Oktoberfest, and fest beer and pumpkin beer, man, this is one of the best times of the year.
I love it.
So
I love it.
I love it too. And it's fun. Landon and I are just complaining that y'all just quick trigger for it. So we're other than that, we're fine though, because we'll eventually get around to it. You know what I mean? And once I do, real quick, Landon, do you have any favorite pumpkin beers? Any favorite Oktoberfest beers that you look for?
The brandy barrel aged from Lakefront is one of my favorites. I think I've actually got 4 years of it sitting on the shelf. So yeah, I love that stuff. Maybe even
awesome.
5,
awesome.
maybe even 5 years. I have to look back. There's definitely 4. Yeah, that and their pumpkin lager is actually a really sessionable
fun beer.
It's got just a hint of like that pumpkin spice, but not a ton, right? The barrel aged is definitely pumpkin and brandy. So if you don't like pumpkin and or brandy, you'll hate that one. But the pumpkin lager, I would say, is pretty sessionable for people that are curious about pumpkin beers and, or maybe are like, maybe I'd try it, right? Yeah, Oktoberfest is great anytime, except for maybe like a 95-degree day. But yeah, in December, hell yeah, I'll drink Oktoberfest in December. But yeah, the pumpkin beers, what was the one that Central Waters used to do? Oh, I kick myself. I'll have to look it up. It was another barrel. Do you remember the whole?
Oh, I'm sorry. You go. Oh, Headless Heron.
Yes, that one. Headless Heron.
Yeah, they did that last year. I wasn't a big fan of it last year. I hope they come back this year with it.
I couldn't find it, so I'm not that far away from those guys. But if any of it made it over here, I couldn't find it.
So. All right. Well, if and when it comes out again, I'll send you some if I can grab some.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
I don't know. I should send something out to Nello. Anyway, yeah. So Whole Hog, Landon, do they still remember Whole Hog had a good pumpkin?
They did have a good pumpkin. If they still do, there again, that was another one that I didn't see around here. That's that's one thing that I do every year. Like when I start seeing it on social media that pumpkin beer's around, then I go to, because Woodman's is the place here that seems to get all of the pumpkin beers if anybody's going to get it.
Mm.
Um,
Mm.
so I go out there and I check it out, and whatever I can get, I get. But the whole hog one, and I've had it in the past.
Mm.
Did not see it last year.
Yeah. So we'll keep an eye out for that. But yeah, Fest beer, Oktoberfest beer, and pumpkin.
Yeah,
We could probably talk another hour on this. So we're gonna
right.
move on. We're gonna move on, y'all. As you can tell, we pretty much like that subject. But the NA so Landon was came hot off the mic. We haven't seen him or talked to him for a while, and he was hot earlier. And you jumped in a little bit with the NA and the low
Yeah,
ABV, the revolution. There's a significant growth of non-alcoholic beer, y'all, and other low ABV options, whether it be hop water. And I guess let's throw session beers in here. These ones that we see that are like below what 4 now. We're starting to see some
yeah,
threes. We're
yeah.
starting to see some really like table beers and stuff like that. Now, I don't know if those, there's a couple things, y'all, that are factoring into this. Number one, taste improvements and technological advancements in NA brewing are opening access and making it an easier entry point for a lot of breweries. And then also there's this thing called Zebra striping. Now, I never heard it termed this way until today, actually, Landon, where
Yeah.
consumers are alternating alcohol and non-alcoholic drinks. Chris Drosner with us not famously, but talked to us one time about how he likes to mix up some, in a long afternoon of drinking. He likes to mix in a couple hop waters and with a couple
Sure.
drafts, wherever he's at, to keep him hydrated and not, so he can, go the whole day and all that. So what's going on with the low ABV revolution? First of all, Landon, please, take first, hit it personally about, how do you feel and what are your personal interests, and then try to get out of that anecdotal and tell us about what you see from, your friends, family, and people that come to Lazy Monk.
Yeah, I would say as far as NA beer goes, the first thing is the taste. Yeah, there you are, man. The first thing is the taste has gotten better. So, the first time that I really recall seeing a lot of NA beers is maybe 2-3 years ago. Um, and the flavor is just was kind of meh, at best. And um I would drink them, like, say, if I were out at a restaurant for work, and obviously you can't drink, or at least where I work you can't drink, and that's fine. But I don't necessarily want a soda, and I've had water all day. So do you have any NA beers? And usually in the past it would be like, we've got Bush NA, or Coors and made it NA, or
Oh,
something,
duels.
or O'Doul's or something of that ilk, right? Nothing that you're really too excited about, and so that's what I would expect to hear, and then just go, well, I'll just drink water. Well, it was probably 2 years ago now, um, that, and I had heard of Athletic before, but I had never had any of their beer, or NA beer, because that's all they make. Athletic is just NA beer. Um, the flavor is as close as you, at least as in my experience, as close as you can get without actually having alcohol in it. It still tasted like a beer. Obviously, it was missing the alcohol, but um, flavorful, and is, a full flavored NA as you could get. So, in my experience, that's doing well. As far as family and friends and stuff go, they'll mix it up. I have people around me that'll mix it up with an NA every now and again, or always. And you're starting to see the offerings wherever you go more plentiful, and not just one or two, but probably five or six, or or at least three or whatever. There's a little place that we go to in town, they've probably got 5 or 6 different offerings all the time, and they rotate. So, lately, my wife has been having a few NA beers, and I've tried hers. It's pretty good stuff. So, you're starting to see more breweries do that. I know the process is difficult to brew an NA beer, um and I don't know what that looks like because I am not a beer brewer. But when a brewer who you trust and is a genius in your mind says that it's difficult, it's pretty difficult. So, um, as far as what I'm seeing at Lazy Monk, I know that when we are out of hop water, that's when everybody wants it, which is just that's always the way it is. And when we have it on tap, you hardly ever pour one, right? So, um, it's it's kind of a it depends on the crowd. If we have a ukulele club that comes in, once a week, once every other week, whatever it is, it's a pretty eccentric group of people, and there are a lot of them that don't like to drink. So if the hop water's on tap, they'll drink a lot of that. Um,
And this
you know,
is hold on. This is lazy. Just to make sure,
lazy,
this
lazy
is
monk.
Lazy Monk's
Yeah,
hop
this is
water.
lazy monk. Yeah,
Okay. Do you know what it's about? Like what hops are in it, or tell us about
I, yeah,
it.
I have no idea what hops are in it. I know that the first version that he made like 3 versions, and I think all of us bartenders tried them, and there was a few that were a little more flavorful than the others, and those are the ones that I liked. Ultimately, I think he went with the one that wasn't quite as flavorful. It was more hop flavored water, which a lot of people still seem to like. It's just, carbonated hop water. So
And how
basically
do you
what
like it?
it's fine. I'd rather just drink straight tap water.
Oh, okay.
you know, if to be real with you, if I'm going to pay money for it, me
Mm-hmm.
personally, this is just the way I feel. If I'm going
Mm-hmm.
to pay money for it, just give me the water, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'll go between water and beer. And
Gotcha.
so, yeah, but
Wow.
it's
Okay.
fine. And for those people that feel left out, because sometimes those people that don't drink alcohol, when they go out with people that drink alcohol, there's some of what they call FOMO, fear of missing out, or I get it. You have a glass that somewhat looks like beer. None of us are judging you, but if that's in your mind, that's okay.
Yeah, across the board, that's why one of the reasons I love NAs
Yeah,
is that it doesn't alienate people who have an issue with alcohol. And or some people, it's not the alcohol, it's just some people just have addiction
right, right.
personalities, you know what I mean?
Yep,
So it's
yep,
the alcohol, hell, it could be the hot water at some point. You know
right.
what I'm saying? We just have
Yeah, yeah, sure. Yeah,
right. So like,
yeah,
Landon and I are just laughing. We're not laughing at it, we're just laughing in general about, like, it's just that's how addiction is peculiar sometimes. But that's what I love about its approachability. Landon, I'm actually starting to think about it because I was just thinking about while we're on here. It's almost starting to be like decaf coffee and coffee, where
right.
decaf coffee is this like generally consumed as horrible, but now we got the roasters working on decaf that is as flavorful as the caffeinated stuff. And sometimes we all can't have caffeine whether we're addicted to it or not.
Yep.
Sometimes it's just not, you know what I mean? So this is kind of the same thing. There are those certain situations where it would be nice to be sipping a beer that you don't have to worry about someone having to carry you out of the fucking wedding, because you know what I mean. You're supposed to be the responsible. If you're not getting married, I don't even know why I'm on this, but if you're not getting, you're supposed to be one of the responsible people,
Yeah,
especially if you're
right.
close to the bride or groom, to like stay sober. So when they crash, you could help them. You don't go on the binge yourself. And when you get married, that's when you go on the binge. I don't know how or why we got here, but we're gonna reel this back in to what we were talking about. So yeah, my I don't know, and we can move on after that. I dislike it. I don't prefer any of it myself, to be honest with you, Landon.
Yeah,
And as as a diabetic person, I gotta watch, my sugar and all those things. So I'm
Yeah.
very, very judicious about my tasting and what I take. So I don't have calories for any of that, y'all. But I do love that y'all enjoy it. I do love that it's segmenting. I think this is part of Tulane. And real quick, this has to be eating at the numbers of the of everybody wants to know why the numbers of alcohol are going down. This
Oh yeah.
has to be eating at those numbers, right, Bo?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. It's and for whatever reason, I mean, people have. It's not even just in the craft beer world. If you're trying to follow trends, it's almost impossible to try to predict what is going to happen and why it happened. By the time you figure it out, they're on to another trend. So who knows how long or if it'll last forever, that the NA revolution. I think NA beers, I mean, we've had NA offerings for a long, long time, right? I remember them a long time ago. But they were always the big beer producers that were making these NA beers, right? Because let's be real, alcoholism didn't just start 20 years ago. It's been going on forever. So,
Since the start of time.
right? Yeah. So I think the ones that do the NA beers and that their people find value in it, the people that support those brands, they'll always probably have some sort of NA offering or several NA offerings because that's what their people want. And until they start seeing something, where the numbers aren't showing anymore, you know, they probably even then will still have one offering. It's just who knows how long it's going to be around, or you don't know. So it's another trend. It's where this generation's at, and those that have found a way to make something that this generation wants, will survive, and the rest of them don't know, because the generation following, who knows what they're going to want, right?
True. And on that note, we're going to move on. And we didn't even get to talk about THC drinks, which is another
Yeah,
wild faction.
that's a
Um,
whole
we will bring
whole
that
another
to you
deal.
in another mix six, and we'll probably have to use three of the damn topics because it's just wild out there, especially here. Wisconsin's really
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
front edge of this for a couple reasons. But on that note, we're going to get to our fifth topic, which is collaboration station, y'all. So I feel, and this is anecdotal evidence, but I feel that collaborations or beer collaborations are all time high. You not only see breweries collaborating, you see breweries with media entities, your favorite ones. You see breweries with, I mean, flower shops, car dealerships. I mean, you look around and they're just everywhere now. And in general, I'm a fan of this, and I like this because I think it brings in people different areas. I think it's a really nice marketing way for breweries to get their faces in other people where they normally wouldn't be. Who's Youngblood Brewing, and why are
right,
they collaborating with a hairstylist on a fucking what is going on here now?
right.
No, Youngblood does not have a collaboration with a hairstylist. Just so before y'all all run to them. And sorry, Billy, and sorry, Billy.
If they
Now
if they
everybody's gonna
want
want to.
if
Now
they want a
everybody's gonna want.
collaboration if they want a collaboration with a hairstylist, I got a wife who's a hairstylist though, so
I
just
was gonna
putting that out there.
say yes, yes. Let's get it going. Lazy Monk and Elizabeth Chutney. Anyway, collaborations are, I feel, at all time high. They're great. They could go north or south though, y'all. There's a lot of collaborations that have never made it. There's a lot of collaborations that the people involved walked away. I've heard many stories about this. I don't know if you've heard that many, Landon, or if you ever heard
No,
collabs that blew
no,
up.
no.
Um, yeah, I've heard a So
Hey,
yeah, we're because well, some of this can be like the logistics, especially with two breweries. It could get really like who does the recipe, who does the ingredients, where is it getting dropped. All these things kind of sometimes play, and if you have people don't always get along, as we already know.
yeah,
Even if you go in with good intentions. So Yeah, there's pictures of our collaboration with Gladden Place. It was awesome. We still talk about the beer today. We were talking about it. And we just love it. Shout out to Joe. Shout out to all of the Gladden Place people. I'm gonna shut up and let Landon talk about collaborations. Landon, I said a lot. Where are you at with the whole collaboration craze and everything involved in it?
I think I've had a long time to think about this because it's been, if you follow influencers on Instagram or whatever, you've seen a lot of collaborations with breweries, and it's not even necessarily beer people all the time that are doing these collaborations. It's just what, quote unquote influencers, whatever it is that they're trying to influence, right? So over the years I've seen a lot of that. And just because I am a person that, I own co-own a business, and I, even back when we were doing um taproom travelers and doing the stuff with the breweries, the last thing that we ever wanted to do was do something that was going to be detrimental to the brewery, because those are the people that we like. The whole reason that we go to these places is because we like the people and the people behind the beer. If we didn't, we wouldn't be there anyway. So the collaboration, I feel, here's my feelings on it, is if it benefits the brewery, great. If it only benefits the influencer or the person that is doing the collaboration with the brewery, then it needs to stop. Because first and foremost, that brewery, their name is on it. They came out of their place. So if it's not going to benefit them first and foremost, it shouldn't happen. So it needs to benefit them. And then secondarily, obviously, whoever's doing it with them, it should look good on them too. But that is a far second. So I think they can be great. I think it's a great promotion, more so for the people that are being brought in to do the collaboration, for the most part. Except for when it's like two breweries that are doing collaborations together. So like Lakefront and who was the brewery in Germany that they did a collaboration with? Hofbrauhaus. Yeah. So in that instance, obviously two brand names doing it together, they'd both benefit, right? Not to say that so say like us, for instance, when we were brought in, obviously we promoted the brewery. We talked a lot about, right. We talked a lot about, and still are talking a lot about, Gathering Place and the beer and how great it was, and all those good things. So really great things. What I see more often is that the person or people that are collaborating with the brewery, you get maybe a day, maybe 2 days worth of social media posts out of it, and then it's just silence. And you never hear another word about it again, while this brewery is sitting on God knows how much beer that they still have to push out for this collaboration that they did with these people. So it's a fine line and yeah, it's on, the people at the brewery obviously have to figure out if this is going to be good for them too. But it's I think it can be a great thing, and I think it can be something that sours breweries on wanting to do collaborations with people. And that's not what you'd want to see. I mean, obviously in our situation, I would hate that. That would be one of the worst things ever if something we did or something we didn't do soured a relationship with a brewery, because that goes against everything we stand for. So,
amen.
Yeah,
amen. And on that note, real quick, or are you done learning in school?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Because this Saturday, y'all, put it on stage, is Gathering Places. Now it's not showing. Gathering Places 8th anniversary party, y'all.
Yeah.
So get y'all behinds over there. They got a triple beer release, y'all. They got the Belgian Farmhouse Ale. Belgian Farmhouse Ale, not like Spotted Cow. We're not doing that. Anyway. Shades of Blanc. No shade on the Spotted Cow, but
No, it's fine.
y'all
It's
know
fine.
what I'm talking about, though.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to talk bad on Glares because y'all gonna come for me. Anyway, Shades of Blanc Barrel Age Red Rye Ale. Oh, a barrel age that's only 5.2, and then a wine barrel strong Belgian ale. And they got new cocktails, and they're gonna have lobster tails.
Ooh, man.
So good times, good times. But yeah, Landon, I fully agree with you about the collaboration, and as you saw, it continues our gathering place thing. I don't know when it ends. I don't care. I'm just going to be forever grateful for them for
Yeah.
doing that.
Does it
And I will
does
always
it
scream
have
out.
to end? Should it ever end? It doesn't have to. Sure.
Well, word on the street is that Dosh beer is going to get brewed again, so it's never going
Hey.
to end. Then if that is the case, because
Nice.
we will always be talking about that wonderful beer.
Absolutely.
So, one of the things we definitely want to talk about too before we get out of here is, so again, we haven't heard from Landon this year, so now we're hearing from Landon. Landon, where have you been, and do you have any brewery visits that you would like to talk about, and anything beery going on with you?
Yeah, so you would have thought I went to Baton Rouge back in May, and then I ended up having to go to Orlando in June
Mhm.
or the beginning of July. Didn't hit a single brewery in either one of those places. Yeah, yeah, not a one. But
Oh, those.
the
Oh,
purpose the
I'm
purpose
gonna
of my
blame those
visit,
kids. I'm gonna blame the kids. You don't say
yeah,
anything. I'm gonna blame the kids. You don't have to approve or disapprove. I'm gonna say blank them kids, and it's
yeah,
cool. We love our kids. We're both fathers, y'all. Don't
I
do
love my
this. But
kids. Yeah.
at the same time, yeah, I'm sorry, Landon. Go on. I said that. Not Landon. Come at me for that.
I just went to a new brewery to me Sunday. Yeah, it would have been Sunday. Brixworth Brewing in Minneapolis, so it's in the North Loop, right across the street from Modest.
Mm.
Kind of a neat little place. Yeah, that North Loop is yeah, it's popping. And it has been for a
And it's a
while,
new
but
brewery. Did it
yeah.
take the place
Well,
of another one
new
or
to
no?
me. There it's newer.
Did it take the place of another brewery or just inserted
No.
itself? Because
I
there's
don't
a
rem
couple in that area, as you know.
Yeah, so Modest is right across the street, and then down the way is
Summit is still there.
Fulton.
Oh no,
Fulton
I'm
is
sorry.
down there.
Not Summit.
Now and a couple of months ago I went to Storm King, which is across the street from Inbound.
Okay, yeah,
So
yeah,
all within that North Loop area right there. Yeah.
yeah.
Storm King is pretty cool too. The two things that or the one thing they I guess they have in common between Brixworth and Storm King is their brew pubs. So they both have food. Storm King does barbecue, which is pretty good. And Brixworth does like wings and burgers and those kinds of things. So all within like walking distance of Target Field and Target Center, First Ave, that whole mess down there. So yeah,
I do love it.
yeah.
All
So
right.
I really only had time to go to Brixworth. I'm glad I went. Um, I went out of my element. I don't ever drink IPAs, but they had an IPA named after one of the Timberwolves basketball players, so I
Mhm.
had to drink that. Um, Luckily for me, when I drink an IPA, I still appreciate a good one. It's just it becomes a sipping beer because it's not really something that I enjoy a lot, but it was well made. So other than that, no, I've been, working at Lazy Monk about once a week. Um
What's going
they
on there? Anything?
yeah, they
We got a party
they
coming up, right?
got a new pilsner called Fresh 12. So the owners came back from Europe. Oh, I want to say like May. Yeah, either end of April or beginning of May. And they go over there and they get like ideas for beer. So they came back. Fresh 12 is an unfiltered, naturally carbonated pilsner.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
So very good. Pour a lot of those.
Mhm.
It's a great beer. Yeah.
And,
Um
and then they
what are
got
you
the
gonna
anniversary coming up, right?
and
Anniversary
the
coming up.
anniversary's coming up on September 6th. 15-year anniversary of Lazy Monk. They are going to be releasing a special beer. The word on the street is it's a lager type beer. And I know exactly what it is, but I haven't been given authority to, but higher in ABV. So, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
gonna speculate.
Anniversary beers have to be special. So,
Yeah, I'm gonna speculate here,
yeah. Go ahead.
and you don't confirm or deny.
Okay.
But I don't know. When I immediately think of high ABV lagers, I think of Doppelbocks, and they always seem to be rolled out nicely for they're nice anniversary beers because they're big and fucking malty, and you can like
Yeah.
keep them for a while. But I'm just speculating. But we will see soon
Sure.
enough on Lazy Monk's social media, right?
Yeah. Yeah. They've been actually, if you go out there lately, they've been releasing videos of just like from the 15 years, collaboration of pictures and whatever. So you get to see some of the old place, and then just kind of like the construction of the new. Some familiar faces if you are a Lazy Monk frequenter at all. So yeah, some pretty good stuff.
All right,
And
Landon.
they're doing they collaborated. We're talking about collaborations. They collaborated with a local meat market and made a special Lazy Monk brat. So yeah,
That'll be served on
so
that day.
I believe they're going to be
Yeah.
served on that day. I think so.
And again, you can confirm or deny.
Yeah.
From my short knowledge of Lazy Monk Brewing in Eau Claire, Wisconsin, y'all, that's who we're talking about. They don't do any collabs, or one, or two, or three.
Have
Like
never
a
done
handful.
never done a collaboration on beer, but they've now done a collaboration for a sausage or bratwurst. Yeah,
Okay,
so
so my
yeah,
anecdotal evidence is confirmed by this
that's
man
right.
here. So like, so then that makes it even more special. When a brewery that doesn't collabs, it's an eye-opening thing, y'all. So like, you
Yeah.
should check it out. I bet you those brats are going to be good. So yeah, and then we're going to get out of here on this mix six. Do you have any final notes before I click the end string button?
It's just good to be back for a change. Life's been busy and so yeah, I'm glad you guys haven't forgotten about me. It's nice. I'm glad that I had the time to be on tonight.
No, that's cool, man. And if we usually run this on Tuesdays, so anytime you want to come back and you got something compelling to rant about, let's
You
go.
bet.
I didn't even get you to rant this time. Damn. So,
You get me on the right topic, I will.
all right, all
I'm good.
right. Well,
I'm good
I
for
was
a good
trying with
rant.
the pumpkin. But I didn't really put anything up against the pumpkin.
Well,
I'm too easy on the pumpkin, man. I'm so easy on that. I can't even make a fake argument, if that makes sense, on the
yeah,
pumpkin.
yeah,
Now the IPAs we might have a good argument. So
sure,
maybe we need to go back and maybe we need to have a sparring match the next time we see you on the mix six. But
you bet.
thanks, Landon. Enjoy
Yeah,
the Lazy Monk anniversary
will
things
do.
going on. I'm sure it's a celebration of the brewery, but also, y'all help. Without y'all's help, they can't run that brewery. So
Yeah,
y'all are also part of the celebration and the the achievements that the brewery has achieved over the past 15 years. Oh my god.
yeah, yeah.
That,
It's a good
that's
deal,
almost an adult brewery.
right?
Gonna be
Just 3 more
graduating
years.
soon. Gonna be
Yeah,
graduating soon. And shout out to Sprecher, sorry, Brewing 40th anniversary this weekend. They're celebrating
yeah,
on Sunday. And I will be talking to I believe somebody from there tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Y'all live here on Badger Beer Report. I will be talking about Sprecher. But 40 years, they're 40 years. They're about to
yeah,
retire. They're a
yeah.
retirement brewery
Right.
almost. Well, no, middle age. How about that? Middle age, middle age. Okay. But yeah, all right, Landon. It was nice hanging out.
Good to see y'all,
And
man.
we want to thank y'all for for hanging out with us and chilling. Y'all can use the comment section. Don't feel free. We have almost a couple hundred people have been watching us.
Nice.
And we all, yeah, it's fun. So we appreciate y'all. We thank y'all. Landon, thanks for joining again. See you soon. We'll talk in the fall sometime.
Yeah.
Before, let's talk before stout season. Let's see what's going on.
Sounds good.
And we'll talk about some pumpkin beers too.
Absolutely.
So, as Joel says, whether it's local or not local, drink local.